evening, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Close-Ups. We are just about 1 week away from the biggest event of the year when it comes to country music. And as we gear up for the 40th annual CMA Awards in Nashville, I'm going to introduce you to some of country's biggest stars. First up, the man who drives fans wild with his honky-tonk badonka-donk.
Honky-tonk badonka-donk.
If you didn't know Tracy Adkins before Honky Tonk Badonka-Donk, you could not miss him once the song became a mega hit.
Shut my mouth, slap your grandma.
Now the Honky Tonk Badonka-Donk.
You said it right.
Well, because Missy Elliott, Misdemeanor Elliott talks about Badonka-Donk.
Yeah, and from what I understand, she's the one that's credited with coining that phrase, as far as I know. And so, you know, I'm glad she did. It's worked for me.
The Badonka-Donk is part of Trace's double platinum album, Songs About Me. In that famous baritone Louisiana drawl, he told me how his songwriters came up with the tune one night hanging out at the Wild Horse.
This girl was on the dance floor just banging people. You know, she was swinging that thing and literally knocking people down almost. And they said, boy, there's a badonka-donk in the honky-tonk. And then they started going, honky-tonk, badonka-donk. And then they literally wrote the song in about an hour. And there it was.
And why were you the perfect one to do it?
I don't know. Who else would have done it?
You're the only one sassy enough to do it.
My mama would say I may be the one that's the most disrespectful.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Well, my mama's always embarrassed by the stuff that I do, and she has been for years. And every song she doesn't like usually does really well. And this time she said, well, I guess I'm just going to have to change churches.
Change churches because people were picking on her?
So I knew it was going to be a hit.
Trace, if you could not tell already, is a straight-shooting Southern man with roots deep in Louisiana. And though country is his core, the Bayou did bring in some other influences early in his career.
I grew up in the northwest corner up around Shreveport, which really culturally is like East Texas, and that's where the Louisiana Hayride was. And so country music is really the staple there in Shreveport.
Also in Shreveport, Trace watched a lot of Double-A baseball, played Little League and high school baseball, and that inside knowledge of the game was just perfect for another one of his recent hits, Swing.
Jimmy's out, next in line. Swing, batter, batter, swing, batter, batter, swing, batter, batter, swing.
The song is a classic country tale of men at a bar taking their swings at getting a lady. It's a song Trace liked right away, and one that had actually sat on his producer's shelf for years.
I'm one of those enlightened men that know that women control the universe and that we're just pawns in all your sinister little games, and you have all the power, you know.
Everybody strikes out 9 times out of 10.
We can ask and beg, but you know, it's ultimately up to you.
Swing, batter, batter, swing, batter, batter, swing, batter, batter, swing.
You know, we go to the plate and keep swinging, you know, and every now and then, you know, we might get a hit. That's what that song's really about. It's about how mean you old gals are to us.
That sounds like a man who's been married a long time.
Been married 18 years to 3 different women.
I love it. Well, right now, Trace is managing his latest marriage, which has lasted some 10 years, and managing to wow fans from coast to coast, especially here in Atlanta. Folks love you in Atlanta at the Gwinnett Civic Center and then at Cowboys. What's the Atlanta crowd like to you?
They're just a great country music audience, you know, and I have, you know, Atlanta's been a good town for me. in my career. I've always been able to work there, and people have always come out and supported us.
Trace also is busy promoting his latest album, Dangerous Man. But when we sat down, I asked him specifically about Songs About Me. Because I was reading that you said that album really, the songs there were about you. And the first one I want to talk about is the title track. Because why is it people who don't know country music are afraid of country music or look down on country music?
But I've never been crazy about the twang and trains and hillbilly thing.
Well, they think that it's, you know, it's dumbed down, that, you know, it's just not intellectually stimulating perhaps, or that it's just hokey or, you know, just hick, redneck stuff.
Songs about me.
Well, that's been that misperception and that misconception, you know, that's what it is, and it's been perpetuated for years, and we're trying to change that, and I think it's happening, you know, slowly but surely. Country music is a powerful force in the music industry, and I think everybody that's in the business is aware of that, and they know that, and they give us the respect that we're due. You know, maybe some of the fans that aren't hip to it or are into it still look at us like we sleep with our sister. And I don't have a sister, so that's not true.